Greetings and welcome. My name is Mike Bankhead. I am your host. I am a bass player and songwriter from the Gem City, Dayton, Ohio. This is episode 117, and I have a repeat guest this time. It is John and Amelie, who together are the very talented married musical duo of 7000 Apart. And you'll get to hear about their new album on the You Could Be My Aramis podcast. John and Amelie were my guests way back in 2022 in the spring. And let's fire up the time machine. I want to play you something that I asked them when we had that conversation. Does the In Progress album have a name yet?
Yeah, it's going to be called Feel Your Feelings.
How soon till we get it?
Oof, that's a hard question. I can't really give you a date, but the plan is to release it into 2 EPs. So at least you're going to get EP 1, which is going to be called Side A. It's going to be coming sooner than the whole album. So at least you'll get something before the whole album drops.
Like true music professionals, 7000 Apart executed that plan. Side A has been available for a while now. The entire album, that's available today, Wednesday, October 16th. Happy release day to 7000 Apart, and let's get to the conversation. So, John and Amelie, it is very nice to see you again, or Amelie and John, alphabetically. It's really nice to see you again after... Well, it's been a while. We saw each other in person in 2023, it might have been? Or was it 2020?
Either 2022 or 2023.
I don't actually know.
I have the show poster on my
makes
wall.
sense. Okay, good. Okay, nice, because that makes more sense.
May
That's when we did our longer little
May
tour.
15th, 2022. You guys stopped by Dayton, Ohio, and played a show in our community, which was
great.
It was nice to spend time with you again after so much. And,
it was wonderful.
And now, even though we're about 7,000 kilometers separated, we can still talk through the wonders of the internet. How y'all doing?
Really good.
Really good, yeah.
Yeah.
I'd say so. It's been things have been going well, and it's fall, so it's kind of cozy and just kind of settling into trying to accept the fact that it's chill.
Yeah, and we wrote 2 new songs this weekend, so we feel like kind of a conflict. You feel like you've done your homework, which is really nice. And today we're taking it kind of chill, and we call this is a Monday, so we call it Maintenance Mondays. So we try to take care of maybe do laundry, clean the apartment, stuff like that, just so we can be on a good footing for the next 7 days. Yeah.
What are the new songs about, if you don't mind me asking?
Good question. We wrote one yesterday that's kind of about not being great on your own, and that it's easy to sometimes overthink things when you're not with your partner. And then what was the one on Saturday?
I'm trying to think. The first thing off my head is just the vibes.
Yeah.
It's
we didn't really know where that one was
I don't
going.
think we finished
The lyrics, no, they're not
necessarily.
done, but we have, it's a good enough start that it shouldn't be too hard to finish them. But yeah, we'll see where they end up, I guess. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
How long does it take you from when you write a new song to when it makes it into your live set, usually?
Ooh, it depends on what song it is. Sometimes a song is very dedicated for live. You can tell oh, this is gonna be so easy. This is gonna be awesome to play live. It's not a hard song, some stuff like that. Then it's probably just
whenever.
A month.
If we have a show, we'll probably throw it in.
Exactly. It's more that we wrote something right before we went on tour, and then one of our first shows in the US this summer, we didn't have a ton of people there, but the people that were there were really, really nice and sweet, and it was a very quiet room. So we played our newest song for them, even though we had barely played it since we wrote it. And that was really special. But it sometimes it only works when you have a really forgiving audience. So yeah.
You have relocated the 7,000 apart official headquarters is Stockholm.
That's correct. Yes.
When did that
Yeah,
happen exactly?
almost exactly 2 years ago. I think it was like October 21st of 2022 or
Yeah, something
something.
like that.
We we moved, yeah, we moved our main base to Stockholm to tour out of, kind of, let's
Yeah,
say.
well, more for like the off time. Like we still spend about probably 4 to 5 months in the US in Wisconsin, but we wanted to start building something here as well. We we feel like this is where we're supposed to be for maybe the rest of our lives. We'll see, but at least for now, like we really like it here for the writing and the producing and the networking and all of the things that isn't just playing live.
You were back in the States this summer. Do you remember how many shows you did? When we talked about this the last time I had you on, because you had done like 93 shows over the course of the summer that year or something ridiculous. Do you know
Yeah,
what the number was this year?
I think it's
Yeah,
74.
74 this year.
Man, you're
Yeah.
Yeah.
slacking off.
Yeah.
I mean, we're still up to like 99 or I think 98 for the year because
So
we
I
did
think
another 20
I
this
think the
this
total for the year is gonna be like 105,
I
actually.
I think
Wow.
it's gonna end. I think it's gonna be more than that. I think we're
Yeah.
gonna book stuff in December
So
and
that's like
stuff too,
what
but
we currently have booked or have
mhm.
played. I think the total will be 105. I think in 2022 was our busiest year.
That was
We
140.
140 or
It
145
was at
shows.
100. Yeah, it was at
Something.
140 at yeah, at the time we like moved to Sweden, which was
Yeah.
crazy because that was in October. So we were very, very busy that year. But yeah, that
Yeah.
was the time that we went to Ohio. It was great.
Yeah, and I'm just
Yeah.
messing with you. You guys work so hard. Uh, this year, when you came back to the States, you toured as a whole band. It wasn't not just the two of you, and I'm not complaining. Just the two of you is enough for a good show. But you had a
Yeah.
bass player and a drummer along, which probably gave you some more tools to paint the sonic palette, right?
Yeah, absolutely. We still do about like half and a half. So half duo shows, half a trio or full band shows. But yeah, it's wonderful. We had the best women coming with us this summer and just having the same basis because we brought our Swedish basis to the US because she's an American citizen as well. Just having the same basis in both countries is such a luxury. Like we didn't like we knew we would like something like that, but we had no idea how beneficial it would actually
We
be.
didn't expect to find a bassist who could be in both countries in the
No.
first like year of
Yeah,
being
it's
in
crazy.
Sweden. It was
Yeah.
crazy.
And that
So
he was like up for just like dropping everything and
for
just
three
coming.
months.
Yeah, just going to the US for 3 months. That's crazy. But she
Yeah.
loved it.
And now we get to work with her here too, which is just that feels incredible. Like we don't have to work with separate people in both countries
Yeah.
for every aspect, It's really
That's
cool.
pretty awesome. It also probably
Mm.
makes tour prep a lot easier because she already knows the songs,
Mm.
right?
Yes.
Don't have
Yes.
to
Yeah.
teach different people the songs. So
Yeah. And she likes rehearsal. She's like, when are we rehearsing? We're the kind of people that we never rehearse because we have so many shows that like some of the shows become rehearsal in a way. But or we learn new songs on the fly and but she's like, yeah, we should practice. And I was like, whoa, okay. So we actually had a few days of practice with a drummer and bassist so they could also get to know each other.
And we worked with her on some new songs yesterday,
Yeah,
just
she came to the studio
yeah,
yesterday. It was great.
just for the heck of it, which doesn't happen normally.
cool.
So
Well,
it's
we
been
we
really
have that
cool.
in common. I love rehearsal.
Nice.
Any chance to play with other people, I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, and yeah. I know a lot of musicians rehearsals kind of tedious, but I do get irrationally pumped up for rehearsals.
That's awesome.
Nice.
We all have our weird little things, right?
I wouldn't say I think it's weird that we don't.
I think
It's
it's
just like
for the best.
yeah, it's definitely you should rehearse, you should practice, you should
I think for us it's mostly we just haven't had the time.
no.
But now that we like have concentrated, like if you think back to 2022, we did 145 shows over the course of a whole year. Like this
And also
summer,
released songs and also
yeah.
recorded songs.
But this summer was just 74 shows in like 3 months and 3 weeks.
Mhm.
So like the
And we
fact,
didn't have to release and we didn't have
yeah.
to record, which was like the best because it's a lot to play that much and
And our shows have gotten bigger too. Like
yes.
we from 2022 to now, like in 2022 we had a Volkswagen Passat and Toyota Sienna was like the biggest we ever got
Yeah.
with a full band, and now we have like 5 or sometimes even 6 people, and we have a Ford Transit, so it's like proper band van, which means also there's a lot more stuff. Like
Lights and
we have
sound.
a sound
Yeah.
lighting person, and like
Wow.
each show takes a lot more work to set up and tear down.
Yeah.
So yeah, it feels, even though it's slightly less shows, I feel like it feels like more work.
Oh, 100%.
But we got a ramp this year for the
Yes.
van, so
Wow.
we don't have to deadlift everything.
Could
Which
roll things down.
that's
Big difference,
helpful.
yeah.
Yeah.
So bigger shows, more visual for the audience, and also that means more people on the payroll too. If you're
Yeah.
adding to
Yeah.
the team, which is good. When you're at the point where you can actually afford to add people to the payroll, it means that things are going well.
I mean, I wouldn't say
Or
we can afford it.
well-ish.
It's more like we do it and
We just
we
keep
deal with
growing. We
everything
try to
else
keep,
later.
yeah, we
Yeah.
try to keep growing, but it's always, I think if you have any business, if you any business, not just in music,
Mhm.
in order to grow, you have to spend more money too. So
Yes.
it's like you make more money, but you spend more money. And if you're a entrepreneur, business-minded person, you end up making about the same amount of money
Yeah.
for way more work, but
Yeah.
it's but it's more fun.
Yeah.
It's more fun having
You
a
get to-
bassist and drummer,
Yeah, you get to
So
hang out with your friends.
you
And
get to hang
we
out.
just
Yeah.
had so much fun this summer. It was
Yeah.
great.
Well, in 2025, if you don't make it to other parts of the Midwest, I'll have to go to Wisconsin and see the show. I would
Yeah,
love to
please do.
see a bigger 7,000 apart show just to see the visual spectacle. So let's talk
Yeah.
about current career milestone. We are having this conversation on Monday the 14th, but this podcast is going up the morning of Wednesday the 16th. It's going up early enough that it will even still be morning in Sweden, I think.
Nice.
Nice.
The album that you've been working on for over 2 years, Side A has been
Yeah,
out
it's
for a
about
while.
4 years.
It's
4 years?
almost 4 years now. It's
Wow, okay.
crazy.
The album you've been working
Crazy.
on for about 4 years is complete. And today, I'm speaking as if we're talking on Wednesday,
Yeah.
even though we're not. Today is release day. How's that feel?
It feels really good. We felt like we really needed, because it's been such a long process. And like, first we released released singles and then side A, and then released a bunch of singles and then side B. And it's been so spread out. We wanted like a chance for our fans to rediscover, but also maybe for the people that have missed songs to be like, or who have joined us later, because we've gained more fans during these 4 years. They weren't here when we did the Kickstarter, when we explained the concept, all of that. So we just wanted to give people a chance to listen to the album in its entirety, and to also like kind of tie a bow on the Feel Your Feelings project before we move on to something new. So that we can really just like, okay, that's done. Now it's time for this new chapter.
So today is release day, and for the next several weeks, you're going to work really hard on promotion. So let's have this be one of the early stages. Tell me about the project. We have had this conversation before a little bit, but it wasn't done yet. So as a listener, what should I expect from the complete Feel Your Feelings?
So I think the complete Feel Your Feelings is also kind of a combination. So we've played these songs for, again, 4 years, and our shows have actually been very similar to how we put the track order for the Feel Your Feelings album. And I think that that's something that we wanted people to experience it the way we've been doing it on stage as well. And
Kind of like going to
Yeah.
a little 7,000 apart concert, but in your ears, and like the journey that we try to take you on when you come to a show of ours, where it's like there's high highs, but there's low lows, and maybe songs that make you think, maybe songs that make you dance, maybe songs that make you like feel a little energized or boosted, hopefully. And yeah, just make you feel your feelings, I guess.
That was advice that John got from his therapist
Mhm.
in 2019.
Yeah, exactly. My therapist told me I needed to feel my feelings more, and I was like, "You're completely right." And maybe I should write about that and actually feel what I'm feeling. And I think Amelie was also very much struggling. That was especially during COVID, but to be honest, I feel like this album has been a 4 year journey and a 4 year recovery process for us.
Yeah.
It's not always easy being a musician or honestly just being a human. And so I think these songs are still songs that we need to hear, and we just made songs that we needed to hear and we put them out in the world, and we hope that other people can't relate to some of the
Yeah.
songs, but if they can, then
Maybe they'll find
uh,
some support,
yeah,
you
they'll
know.
find something out of it,
Yeah.
get something out of it.
It's a good concept to me because, at least in the culture that I grew up in, being a Midwesterner, especially if you were a male, feeling your feelings is not something that was really encouraged, right? There's
Definitely. Yeah.
unflattering cultural stereotypes when men emote, right?
Hmm.
And I think it's a positive message that you are letting people know that it is okay to feel what you feel and react how you need to react, assuming you're not like hurting other people.
Yes.
Because that
Yeah.
happens around here a lot too. Probably because people don't feel their feelings and they get all pent up and then they blow up, right?
Exactly. You don't know what to do with them. And that is something that we both have had to learn and accept that, we have these feelings and how do we feel them in a good way too, And I think music can be such an amazing outlet for that. I remember being like a teenager, being upset about things, and I would just turn on Evanescence, which is one of my favorite bands, like as high as the volume would go, and I would scream along. And that was a fantastic way for me to like just get those feelings out, but in a healthy way where I wasn't screaming at my parents or my siblings or, friends. So to me, that was music, and for you too. I mean, music has always
Yeah.
been there as a tool to help us feel our feelings.
So how do I get my hands on the completed album?
So it's only going to be digital in the shape that it is, but it's going to be available on all the platforms, Spotify, Apple Music. Just search for 7000 apart. You just have to type in 7000 and we pop up, which is great. And it should be right on there.
You have
Otherwise, I
the
mean, yeah.
you have the search engine optimization nailed in.
Pretty much. There's not a lot of bands with numbers in them, and especially not 7000.
Our
So
main competition is like a Nikon camera or
yeah.
something.
Oh, okay.
That's called like 7000
Yeah.
something. Yeah. So we're pretty good on that end. But if you want a physical version, we have it's a double CD, so it's side A and side B, and we have vinyl as well, and you can get that on our website.
Which is 7000apart.com.
Yes,
Mhm.
and then you just click store, and it takes you to 7000apart.store, and it's all there.
Fantastic. So,
Yeah.
congratulations, by the way, on realizing
Thanks.
this project that has taken so long.
Thank you.
It's been a
Yeah.
very long process, but we're very proud of it, and we're happy. Even though it's been like a long process, we're happy that maybe it needed to take its time. You know what I mean? Maybe we had to be ready as well for this next thing, and maybe yeah, we needed this time to feel our feelings like properly for 4 years.
It's such a cornerstone, I think, of us going forward as well.
Mm.
And both musically, but also lyrically and just in general, I think it taught us so much about what we wanted to do going forward as well.
Yeah.
So you said what you needed to say artistically on this project. Do you foresee that you might venture down some of this subject matter again, or are you shutting this particular subject matter of mental health and taking care of yourself emotionally, or are you putting that in the cupboard and just going to move on to other topics, or might you revisit this?
Of course. I mean, mental health is something that we're both so incredibly passionate about, no matter what. And it's also something that, because we've written so much about it becomes natural to keep writing. We definitely want to explore other things as well. But yeah, it's always going to be there. I mean, what's probably going to be the next single after this is extremely connected to mental health. It's just sonically a little bit different.
Nice. I can't wait to hear it. I don't have one last question, I think, and it's the one I've been asking every guest this, but I wasn't when we had the last chat. So this one is new to you. Think back as far as you can when you were little people and young. I mean, you're still pretty young to me, but what is the first song you can remember hearing in your life?
First song, I feel like that would, I mean, for me, that would probably be something in the church world. I don't even know, like, I mean, my grandpa was a pastor, and my grandma was a piano teacher, and she did a lot of the music at my grandpa's church. And so honestly, I don't even like, I'm sure the first song I heard in my life was something there. Um, yeah, otherwise, I mean, the funny thing is actually my mom wrote me um
Lullaby.
a lullaby. Yeah. And so maybe that's probably the first thing. Like she wrote that for me when I and sang it to me when I was a little kid.
Oh,
I
nice.
think
Yeah.
I think for me, I know that my mom, like, I sucked at sleeping as a kid. I still suck at sleeping as an adult, but I know that she would like carry me around, like bumping me up and down, trying to get me to sleep to Sting, his greatest hits album.
Cool.
And then the first song I ever sung, I think in front of people, was at my brother's baptism. I was 5, I think, and it was it's kind of like I think it's a psalm or a poem,
Mm.
but it's to the tune of Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. So about like, God take care of the children type of thing. Yeah.
In Swedish, I'm gonna guess if you were 5.
In Swedish,
In
yes,
Swedish.
correct. The first English song I sung was Because of You by Kelly Clarkson.
All right.
Mm.
Thank you very much once again for taking time to talk to me, by the way. Let's remind people where to find you. 7000apart.com.
Yes.
7000apart, no space, because you've had enough space in your relationship. I love that
Remember
tagline.
this?
It's so great. And on all social media platforms, 7000 apart. Have you had Filka today yet? Or
Fika.
Yeah, have you had that
Kind
today
of a
yet?
little bit. Fika. Yeah, we could use some more fika.
We could use
We
okay,
had some tea this morning, and you had a little afternoon coffee, but I think we could go for another coffee for sure. And maybe a little cinnamon bun. It was the cinnamon bun day last week.
Those are the
So there were cinnamon buns
kananbullar?
everywhere.
Kananbullar?
Kanelbullar. Yes.
Kanelbullar.
Yeah, that was better.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good
That was
job.
really good, yeah.
Obviously, my Swedish has not improved since the last time we talked.
You're all good. You're all good.
It's
No
very
worries.
nice to
Like,
see you.
Yeah. So good to see you.
I can't wait until we get the next thing because you're just such talented musicians and lovely people.
Oh, thank you.
So are
Thank
you.
you so much.
Thank
Yeah.
you so much.
Thank you very much to John and Amelie, or alphabetically, Amelie and John from 7000 Apart for taking time out of their very busy schedule to talk to me about the new record. You can go listen to Feel Your Feelings in its entirety on every streaming platform right now. Go find it. These hardworking independent musicians deserve your support. And dear listener, thank you so very much for spending your time listening to me talk to some musicians that I clearly admire. And I will see you next week with another new episode.